Have you ever wondered why the world's most powerful companies spend millions, sometimes billions, on something as simple as a logo? Why a swoosh, a bitten apple, or a pair of golden arches can trigger an instant reaction deep inside you, long before you have time to think? This is not art. This is not design. This is sorcery. For hidden within these familiar symbols lies a secret language, older than empires and more powerful than words. A language designed not to speak to your conscious mind, but to whisper directly into the chambers of your subconscious, where true decisions are made. What if I told you that the logos you see every single day are not random at all, but carefully constructed sigils, modern-day runes, crafted to manipulate, influence, and even enslave collective consciousness? From the pyramids of Egypt to the sacred geometry of the Kabbalah, from occult lodges to the branding boards of Madison Avenue, the same patterns emerge. Shapes, numbers, and archetypes recycled through centuries, carried forward into the glowing signs that tower over our cities and the glowing screens that fill our homes. And once you learn this secret language, you will never be able to unsee it again. Music swells, then softens. Welcome to Esoteric Glyph, where hidden truths are revealed, and the veil of illusion is lifted. If you seek knowledge not meant for the masses, if you are ready to pierce through the glamour of consumer reality, then you are in the right place. But be warned, this is not entertainment. This is initiation. So take a deep breath, open your eyes wider than ever before. Because tonight, we uncover the secret language of corporate logos. Beat of silence. A single bell chime echoes. Before we begin, join the growing circle of seekers by subscribing to Esoteric Glyph. Activate the bell, so you never miss an unveiling of hidden wisdom. And share this knowledge, because the more who awaken, the weaker the spell becomes. Music transitions into a slow, rhythmic pulse, pulling the audience deeper. To understand the secret language of logos, we must first travel back, far beyond the neon lights of Times Square and the glossy ads of Silicon Valley, back to the ancient temples of forgotten civilizations. Long before marketing departments and design agencies, symbols were sacred. In Sumeria, the first written characters were not mere letters, but pictographs, tiny images that carried entire worlds of meaning. To carve a symbol into clay was to invoke a force, to bind thought and spirit into matter. In Egypt, hieroglyphs were not words as we know them. They were living glyphs of power, each stroke humming with vibrational resonance. A simple eye, the Eye of Horus, became more than a drawing. It was an eternal watcher, an archetype of protection and omniscience, etched into the very psyche of those who beheld it. The Greeks, inheriting the mysteries of Egypt, spoke of the logos, a word meaning not only speech, but also the divine ordering principle of the universe. To them, the logos was the pattern, the hidden code through which chaos became cosmos. Centuries later, medieval magicians and mystics carried this wisdom into the art of sigil craft. A sigil was a compressed symbol of intent, a visual spell designed to bypass the rational mind and sink into the unconscious. Through ritual, meditation, and focus, the sigil was charged with energy until it pulsed like a living being. Now pause and consider, is this not exactly what happens with the logos of today? Every glance at a glowing apple on the back of your phone, every golden arch rising above a highway, every red and white swirl spinning across a soda can. These images are not accidental. They are charged through constant repetition, collective attention, and emotional association. What the ancient priesthoods once guarded as divine knowledge, corporations now wield as a technology of persuasion. The same sacred geometry once inscribed on temple floors appears in modern branding guides. The same archetypes invoked by mystics, the circle, the triangle, the serpent, the star, now flash across billboards and screens. And here lies the paradox. We are told these are just designs. Yet history reveals otherwise. Symbols have always been the currency of consciousness, shaping how societies think, feel, and even dream. So the question emerges, if the ancients used symbols to awaken, why do the symbols of today seem designed to numb? Music deepens, foreshadowing the core revelations to come. Let's strip away the illusion. A logo is not simply an image. It is a sigil of intent. Take Apple, for example. At first glance, it's just a piece of fruit with a bite taken out. But pause. The apple has always been more than food. It is a symbol etched in myth. The fruit of knowledge, the forbidden temptation of Eden, the spark of rebellion against divine order. And the bite? It mirrors the word bite, the language of computers. A clever pun, yes, but also a subconscious invitation. Take a bite of knowledge, embrace the forbidden, join the digital Eden. Every time you glance at that glowing apple, the story repeats. Ancient archetype fused with modern technology. Now look at McDonald's. The golden arches are not just architecture. They form the M, yes, but also resemble the ancient symbol of the arch, a gateway, a portal. Their bright, hypnotic yellow is no accident. It stimulates hunger, craving, a surge of dopamine. Over decades of repetition, the arches became a trigger. Children see them and feel joy, comfort, reward. Adults see them and feel nostalgia, safety, a ritual of indulgence. This is not advertising. This is conditioning. Or consider Pepsi's logo. A circle divided into red, white, and blue waves. At first glance, patriotic, harmless. But hidden beneath is a geometry eerily similar to the yin-yang, the eternal dance of opposites. Dig deeper, and you'll find design documents revealing calculations based on the golden ratio, the geometry of life itself. What seems like a playful sphere is, in fact, a carefully tuned frequency that resonates with the subconscious mind. Here's the key: a logo bypasses logic. You don't reason with it. You don't debate it. You simply see it, and instantly, emotions are triggered, desires awakened, decisions nudged. That is the anatomy of a sigil, compressing meaning, story, and energy into a single, repeatable image. And in our modern world, these sigils are everywhere. You pass hundreds of them daily, on clothes, screens, cars, packages, each one a tiny seed, quietly shaping how you think, feel, and behave. The ancients used symbols to connect with the divine. But corporations? They use them to connect with your wallet, and deeper still, your subconscious. But let's go further, because the real power of these logos is not just in their design, but in how they are charged. Every ad campaign, every celebrity endorsement, every stadium filled with glowing screens. That is the ritual. That is the charging of the sigil. Millions of eyes, billions of impressions. The more we see it, the stronger it becomes. Until a swoosh doesn't just mean Nike. It means victory, aspiration, transcendence. Until a mermaid on a cup doesn't just mean coffee. It means community, culture, belonging. You see, this is not branding. This is enchantment. We've seen how logos function as modern sigils, but their true power lies in the layers of meaning woven into them, often invisible to the untrained eye. Let's return to the ancient. In sacred geometry, shapes were never arbitrary. The circle represented unity, infinity, the divine whole. The triangle signified fire, aspiration, and the trinity of creation. The square was stability, earth, material form. These were not mere decorations, they were archetypes of reality itself. Now ask yourself, why do these same forms dominate corporate logos? Examine the triangle, used by Delta Airlines, Mitsubishi, Adidas. In esoteric traditions, the upward-pointing triangle is the flame of will, ambition, ascent. To wear it on your chest or consume it in daily life is to unconsciously align with its force. The circle appears everywhere: Target, BMW, Pepsi, Shell, Starbucks. The eternal loop, the eye, the wheel of fortune. Always turning, always returning. It draws the gaze inward, hypnotic, endless. And the pentagram, 5 points, symbol of man, microcosm, and hidden occult power. While few logos show it openly, the star is everywhere, from car brands like Mercedes-Benz to the military insignias stamped on flags. The symbol of dominion disguised as decoration. But beyond geometry, there are archetypes. The siren of Starbucks, not a random mermaid, but a twin-tailed siren of maritime myth, symbol of seduction and enchantment. Sailors once feared her songs, now millions cradle her image daily, drinking her potion with no second thought. The wing of Nike, named after the Greek goddess of victory. To wear the swoosh is not just to wear a brand, but to carry the sigil of divine triumph. And through constant ritual, athletes, stadiums, ads, the swoosh becomes a talisman, a charm of power. Even the illuminated eye finds its way into brands like AOL, CBS, and countless others. The ancient eye of providence, now disguised as entertainment, broadcasting, communication. The watchers watching us. This is why some call it the occult in plain sight. The symbols are there, but hidden under the veil of design. You are told they are meaningless, but your subconscious never agrees. And here's the paradox. The more you dismiss them, the deeper their spell embeds. Because symbols do not require belief to function. They bypass belief entirely. They are direct downloads into the psyche. Still, a myth persists that these symbols are harmless, mere coincidences. Yet history reminds us otherwise. Every culture on Earth revered symbols as forces of creation. Do we truly believe that multi-billion-dollar corporations, advised by the brightest minds in psychology, design, and even occult philosophy, choose them by accident? Logos are not created. They are conjured. And each time you engage with them, you participate in the ritual, unknowingly feeding energy into the sigil, strengthening its hold on the collective mind. This is the anatomy of enchantment. Sacred forms stripped of their divine purpose, reprogrammed to serve commerce and control. The magician's wand has been replaced by the marketer's pen, but the spell remains the same. Knowledge, without application, is only half a weapon. It is one thing to see the spell, it is another to break free from it. The first step is awareness. Begin by observing your environment. Walk through your city, your home, your digital spaces, and consciously notice the logos surrounding you. Don't just glance, see. Ask, what shape is this? What archetype does it mirror? What emotion does it summon in me? The moment you ask these questions, the trance begins to weaken. For what was once unconscious becomes conscious, and the spell loses power. Second, decode the language. Keep a simple notebook, a symbol journal. When you encounter a logo, sketch it. Identify its geometry, circle, triangle, square. Reflect on its color, red for urgency, blue for trust, black for authority. Write the first feelings it triggers. Over time, patterns will reveal themselves, and you will begin to see how deeply your psyche has been programmed. Third, practice symbolic cleansing. Just as the ancients purified temples before ritual, you can reclaim your mind. Limit exposure to logos where possible. Remove unnecessary branding from your environment. Cover them, peel them, choose plain over marked. This simple act is a form of rebellion, a way of reclaiming psychic space. But don't stop there. Transform the practice into empowerment. Create your own sigil. Just as corporations encode intent into their symbols, so can you. Take a personal goal, a phrase of intent, reduce it into abstract lines and forms until it becomes a unique glyph. Meditate on it, charge it with focus, and place it where you will see it daily. Unlike corporate logos, this sigil does not drain you, it empowers you. And perhaps the most important practice, meditation on the symbol itself. When you next see a corporate logo, don't react automatically. Instead, pause, breathe, let it pass before your awareness without attachment. By doing this, you reclaim the space between stimulus and response. You choose, not the symbol. Remember, the ancients used symbols as tools for awakening, not sedation. The same power lies within your hands. You can either be programmed by the glyphs of others, or write your own glyphs of liberation. You are not powerless in this sea of symbols. Awareness is your shield. Intention is your sword. And with both, you can step out of the web of manipulation and begin to use the language of symbols to craft your own reality. Symbols are the architecture of the unseen. They build nations, ignite revolutions, and shape the dreams of entire civilizations. Once, they were the sacred tools of priests and philosophers. Today, they are the weapons of corporations, beaming endlessly into our eyes, stamped onto our lives, buried deep into our subconscious. And yet, the truth has always been this. A symbol only holds the power you give it. You have now seen the hidden language. You know that the swoosh, the arch, the circle, the eye are not random, but carefully crafted spells. The question is no longer what do they mean. The question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you remain an unconscious participant in the rituals of consumer sorcery? Or will you reclaim the glyphs of your own destiny and choose which symbols guide your path? Because here lies the paradox. The same tools used to control can be used to awaken. Every logo that enslaves is a reminder that you can forge your own sigil of freedom. The spell only works when you refuse to see it. But now you cannot unsee it. This has been Esoteric Glyph. If this unveiling sparks something within you, share it. Subscribe so that the next layer of hidden knowledge finds you. And remember, the more who awaken, the weaker the illusion becomes. Symbols do not speak to the mind, they speak to the soul.